Hi, my name is Ashanti Parker, and today I'm be talking about the Dave sculpture. So let's jump into it. David's Renaissance is a Renaissance sculpture that was created by Michelangelo back in the early 1500s. Michelangelo worked about 2 to 3 years straight to create one of the best Renaissance sculptures there is this far. The sculpture is worth over 200 million, probably even more than that. This sculpture has so much meaning and knowledge behind it. So let's dive deeper. The materials that was used was this kind of Carnara marble, which is the white marble that is popular for sculptures, design decor, things like that to like design your home and stuff like that. And the size is 517 centimeters by 199 centimeters, 17 feet tall, and the weight is about 12,478 pounds. And it is a sculpture, so the genre is a sculpture. The work is representational art because it's being represented with visual testimony to the world. It is a 3D sculpture. The elements of design, when Michelangelo generated the Dave sculpture, it was focused on balance, harmony, mass, space, and ideal form. The mass is the most important because of the 3D space. Dave represented as a standing male that appears to be nude. The sculpture looked like a regular human being that's just standing there with no clothes on, as if the person was real and just covered in white paint. Here are a few pictures. As you can see, some of them are close up and it got the angles. And you can see the detailing and all that. Here's a few facts. Dave was a religious sculptor, even though Dave became a symbol for Florence. The sculpture was created in the 1501 to 1504, as I said earlier, in the early 1500s. The sculpture was a commission because the city of Florence had commissioned Michelangelo to come up with a piece that would embellish Florence. So basically, they paid Michelangelo to come up with a Dave sculpture that looked just like him, resembled him, and they paid them for that. The principle of the design that was used for this masterpiece was balance, unity, movement, pattern, emphasize rhythm and contrast. Have all played a part to execute Michelangelo's vision on creating a sensation. Balance was used because you can see the type of texture that was used. It looks smooth, not too rough. You are not able to feel it, but you can tell just by looking at the sculpture. Space, because you can see every detail and everything wasn't so crowded. Movement played a big part. Because the way he's standing there was with him holding an object on his shoulder with his head turned. So it wasn't just look like it's just a basic sculpture. Lines, because of the body and the way how he did the six pack along with the veins, you can really see the detail and how it was done the correct way. Elements of design were balance, harmony. They are being showcased in his art throughout his life and his great posture along with his perfected anatomy. Interpretations. The meaning of Dave and what it represents is strength, youth, and beauty. I wouldn't say it's different from the subject. It's just out of the norm and something you don't always get to see that often in the art world. Well, you do, but it's not like as a sculpture. It's mainly like a painting. So it's different from other artworks that is out there. And also there's a lot of artwork that express beauty, strength. But this particular piece, I wouldn't say it represents. I would say it represents loving your body. in the skin that you are in, and don't be scared to show off your body and be confident in who you are. This title is not significant. Judgments. My artwork can be used for formal theory because criticism is good from others and it's kind of like a break or build situation. I can choose to take the criticism when it comes down to my work and try to better myself and my work, or I can just walk around thinking I know everything and not accept room for improvement. And then contextual theory, because it will help me better understand why people do the things they do, along with helping identify the context. I think expression theory will fit my art more because I can express myself through my work without having to explain myself over and over, when I can just pour all my thoughts and feelings into my artwork and just showcase that. And most significant elevating this work is express theory, so Dave expressed everything about him in his artwork. And here go the conclusion. The sculpture of Dave is one of a kind and unique in its own way. It definitely stands out from other Renaissance artwork / sculptures. It is accurate portrayal of the human body, along with being a great representation of the real Dave. Michelangelo really outdid himself. I also learned a lot about Dave and who he really is. And here's my worksite page on where I got my information from. And I just want to say thank you. And I hope you enjoy my presentation.